Imagine waking up in a world designed to say yes to your every whim. You're hungry? A few taps, and food appears at your door. You're bored? 1,000 shows are waiting, personalized just for you. Need advice, directions, answers? Type a few letters, and the world bends to your fingertips. At first, it feels like magic, like you've been given the powers of a king without the burden of a throne. No waiting, no working, no wondering. Everything is instant, everything is easy. But pause for a moment. What happens to a muscle that never lifts weight? What happens to a mind that never faces resistance? What happens to a spirit that never waits, struggles, or strives? Ease feels good, but it comes at a quiet cost. The skills you once needed? Cooking a meal, fixing a broken chair, memorizing a friend's phone number. They start to fade. Why bother? The app will do it. The service will deliver it. The machine will remember it. And slowly, without ever noticing, the ease that once felt like freedom begins to shrink your world. You become dependent, not because you're weak, but because you've been seduced. The thrill of mastery is replaced by the numbness of consumption. The satisfaction of building is replaced by the boredom of scrolling. Convenience doesn't just save time. It steals resilience. It erases patience. It quietly atrophies the very muscles, mental, physical, emotional, that once made us strong. You don't feel the chains at first because they're woven from silk. But make no mistake, ease has a price. And sometimes, the price is who you were meant to become. The world taught you that effort is optional, and skill became unnecessary. Why learn to fix when you can buy new? Why master cooking when delivery is a tap away? Why practice patience when everything, answers, entertainment, even love, promises to arrive instantly? But what we forget is this. Skills don't just keep the world moving. They shape us. The patience to knead dough teaches more than how to bake bread. It teaches you how to trust slow processes. The struggle of fixing something broken shows you that not all problems are solved by replacing them. Some are solved by staying, by trying again. Without these small battles, something inside us shrinks. Not dramatically, not loudly, just a quiet erosion of confidence, of resilience. Until one day, you look at a simple task and feel overwhelmed. You look at a slow moment and feel anxious. Because when skills atrophy, so does patience. And when patience atrophies, life itself feels heavier. Not because it's harder, but because we've lost the muscles to carry it. The easy world we built around us was supposed to free us. But sometimes, the freedom to avoid hard things is the very thing that enslaves us. Every layer of comfort we add doesn't just soften the world, it softens us. When life gets too smooth, our edges, the parts of us built for grit, for resilience, begin to fade. Think about it. We order food instead of cooking. We swipe left instead of risking rejection. We Google answers instead of wrestling with uncertainty. We live wrapped in invisible bubble wrap, insulated from the sharp edges of experience. But that same insulation dulls the vibrancy of life. Joy feels muted because we no longer have true contrast. Victory feels hollow because there was no real struggle. And the worst part? When true discomfort eventually finds us, and it always does, we stand there, brittle and panicked, unsure how to cope. Not because we're weak, but because we've been numbed for too long. Comfort isn't evil, but a life built only to avoid pain becomes a life lived halfway. Because the truth is, real growth, real meaning, and real joy all live just beyond the edges of what's comfortable. Imagine waking up one morning and your phone won't turn on. No notifications, no calendar, no map to guide you. Suddenly, Something so small feels like a full-blown crisis. You scramble, not just for convenience, but for a sense of control. Because somewhere along the way, you handed pieces of yourself over to machines, systems, corporations, and you didn't even notice. This is the hidden price of convenience, dependency. Each shortcut we embrace, each burden we outsource, subtly teaches us to rely, not on ourselves, but on something or someone else. You forget how capable you once were. You stop trusting your instincts. You become a consumer not just of products, but of solutions, of thinking, even of meaning. And those who control the conveniences you depend on, they begin to control you, raise the price, change the rules, decide what you see, what you think, how you move. And most people, so softened by ease, won't fight back, because fighting back requires discomfort. And we've been trained to avoid that at all costs. The terrifying truth is, the more you need the system, the less free you become. Freedom was never just about rights. It was always about resilience. The ability to stand on your own, even when the world around you collapses. Convenience promised you power, but dependency slowly steals it away, piece by invisible piece. Imagine standing at the bottom of an escalator, and right beside it, a staircase. Almost everyone steps onto the moving escalator without a thought. It's easy, it's fast. But what if, just this once, you chose the stairs? At first, it feels pointless. Why make life harder on purpose? But as you climb, step after step, something awakens inside you. Your heart beats harder. Your breath quickens. You remember, this is what it feels like to be alive. Because strength, real strength, isn't given. It's earned, built quietly through small moments of chosen discomfort. It's not about rejecting technology. It's about not letting it own you. It's not about glorifying hardship. It's about remembering you can survive it, even grow from it. Discomfort sharpens you. It reminds you that you are capable, resilient, awake. It teaches you patience, grit, creativity, the very traits that freedom depends on. The world will keep offering you shortcuts. Easier, faster, smoother ways to live. And that's fine, as long as you remember you still have a choice. Sometimes real power is saying, no, I'll do it the hard way today, because I refuse to forget who I am. So here's your invitation. Choose the stairs once in a while. Pick up a skill you let atrophy. Sit with boredom instead of numbing it. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your path back to strength, back to sovereignty, back to life. Because in a world designed to make you passive and dependent, every small act of self-reliance is an act of quiet rebellion. And rebellion, real rebellion, starts not by shouting, but by choosing. Choosing to feel, choosing to grow, choosing to live wide awake. If this message resonates with you, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we challenge the illusions, question the comfort, and fight for the strength that the modern world is trying to make us forget.